It is Open Line Black Friday on the Rush Limbaugh Show, and we are taking your calls. Let's go to Nick in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Nick, you're live on the Rush Limbaugh Show.
Mark, it's an honor and a privilege, and it's Mick, by the way. But
Mick, my mistake. Mick with an M.
Thanks for taking the call. I'm a big fan of yours. I just yesterday was Thanksgiving here, I guess, in Canada it's today. And with that in mind, I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on how monumental November 8th's election was, and how drastically things would be different if it had gone the other way. I know what a big fighter for First Amendment free speech rights you are, and I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Well, Nick, you're right. I mean, I like the First. I'm a big fan of the First Amendment because I've watched free speech under threat in a lot of other places around the world that have free speech traditions, like Australia, Canada, Britain, and Europe. And I think the First Amendment would have been imperiled if Hillary had been elected. Let's not forget that a majority of Democrats in the Senate voted, in effect, to gut the First Amendment. So a Hillary presidency with Senate Democrats would have been no friend of free speech. Don't forget the basic truth about the left now, as we see in all this safe space nonsense, is they don't want to win the argument, they want to ban the argument. They want to criminalize the argument. So you're not able to have a disagreement about transgendered pronouns or whatever it is. They just say, no, this is the law, and if you say anything against it, you're a hater, and you have to lose your job, and you have to be kicked out, and you have to be publicly shamed. So we would have wound up, Hillary was a big part of this. We would have wound up with a world 8 years down the line in which the culture of free speech, which is already dead at American campuses. So you think of the most stupid, blinkered, and repressive college campus for free speech rights, and that's the Democrats' model for the whole country, Mick. That's what they're wanting to do. Secondly, we would live in a more corrupt country. Basically, Hillary was a corrupt candidate, and she ran a pay-for-play operation. That's the purpose of the Clinton Foundation. The Clinton they set up a charity to enable them to live like heads of state during the few years that they were temporarily out of government power. And that would have been their model for how they governed. This is a corrupt, cronyist administration that Hillary would have been running. And we already saw how Obama, in the Obama years, he weaponized the IRS against his ideological enemies. They basically became the paramilitary wing of the Democrat Party. He weaponized the Justice Department ideologically, and had Hillary succeeded, that would have continued. Basically, Hillary committed... Usually the way it works is that you have to remind a head of state that he is not above the law. The greatest temptation for a head of state once he's been in office is a year, 2, 3, 5, 7 years, is he starts thinking he is the law. The law does not apply to him. Hillary would have been the first candidate who would have declared that the law does not apply to her before she took office. That's basically what the FBI and the Justice Department had told her. So Hillary, even before she took office, had corrupted the Justice Department and had corrupted the National Law Enforcement Agency. And we would have seen, I think, one of the most corrupt administrations in American history, and it would have been corrupt. She's not explicitly ideological to the degree that Barack Obama is, but who genuinely believes a lot of this nonsense. She doesn't care. She does what makes her rich and keeps her in power. And in the cause of keeping herself rich and keeping herself in power, she would have corrupted other agencies. She put foreign policy up for sale. She corrupted the Justice Department, the National Law Enforcement Agency. She would have accelerated the corruption of the IRS against her political enemies. we dodged a real bullet there. And the question is whether this is going to be another Republican administration that's just a seat warmer, or whether Donald Trump is not just going to be a Republican seat warmer administration until the Democrats get their act together and get reelected next time round, whether Donald Trump is going to make a serious effort to reverse the left-wing ratchet effect in America's political culture. I don't think a guy as wealthy and successful as that becomes president at the age when he could be retiring to the golf links if he wasn't serious about reversing the left-wing ratchet effect in American life. And I think that's what he'll do. Mark Steyn for Rush. Lots more straight ahead.